Hey everybody, welcome back. Today we're going to take a look at the Goland Century solar lighting system. Alright everybody, welcome back. So in my quest to find affordable, easy to set up solar, I came across this system here. This is from a company called Goland Century. They sell all sorts of different little solar type gadgets and chargers and things like that. And this system here, with its lights and all its other features and a very small panel, runs about $58. But the cool part about this is, let's say you live in an apartment, you have absolutely no room to put out a solar panel, you don't know anything about solar, this thing, simple to set up. Now I call it a solar lighting system, because essentially that's what it is. It does have a trans flash card area slot here, so you can play things through it. It does have a USB input plug, so you can run your phone music through it and play. It does have an FM radio. The FM radio is kind of an afterthought. Not that great. It will scan. I'll play it for you real quick. Hoping we don't get a copyright strike. Oh, I got to turn it on. Okay, to turn it on, you'll just hold that button back there. Turn it on.
Is also available to make an appointment with an orthopedic surgeon.
So it sounds nice. It's a decent sounding FM radio, but again, it's an afterthought, and that's what this antenna is for as well. I wouldn't count. I was comparing it to another radio here, just trying to see where it was on the band, because it's one of those scan-only FM radios, so you can't tell where you are. And it wasn't picking up a lot of stations that my other small radio was. So it's definitely an afterthought. It might come in handy. I don't know. Anyway, that's how you turn it on. You just push that button on the back there and hold it, the on and off button. This is your solar input, so that's where you'll plug your panel in. This is your indicator lights across the top here. I purposely left it at 75 because I wanted to show you what it looks like when it's charging with the panel, and we'll do that later. And these three plugs here are for your lights. So if you're looking for an emergency lighting system that can be charged by a panel, and again, this would take forever to charge off this panel. This is more of a thing to keep it topped off all the time, maybe to keep it at 75% during an emergency. It does come with a plug as well. So you have that plug there, and that will be able to charge it up. They say to charge it at least once a month fully. I think that's a good idea for any stuff. So far, it hasn't dropped from 75%. I've had it for a few days. So let's give you some technical specs on it. This is a 6-volt system. It's not a 12-volt system. It's a 6-volt, 4 amp hour system. The USB sockets are 5 volts. The LED sockets are 6 volts at 0.5 amp hour max. Your FM range on the FM radio is 88 to 108. Again, like I said, not that great. The LED red indicator shows you the system is working. When these lights are on, it shows you the system is working. When this one's blinking down here, it's overloaded or full or done. So that's how you'll know it's charged. It also will charge on there. It'll show you as it's charging up. All right, so to charge this with your plug, you're going to just plug it into the same place that says solar output. You're going to plug it into any wall outlet, and it will start charging. And you can see the red light there is showing a charge. Now the same goes true for the solar panels. We're going to set that outside in a second, and I'll show you how the lights work as well. So let me get this set up, put it outside. I'm just going to stick it right outside the door there, and we'll see how it takes charge with it. All right, so there's the panel outside. I'm just going to show you this real quick. The panel does have little legs that it can stand on the bottom, so it sits at an angle, which is kind of cool. Again, it's not a super heavy-duty panel, but I wouldn't be worried about putting it out in the sun. It doesn't feel like it's going to melt or break apart. It is a polycrystalline panel, so it won't be as efficient as a monocrystalline. But hey, for the price you're getting, it's a decent little panel. So let's show you what it looks like plugged in. All right, so I got the cord right here. You get about 10 feet of cord. I'm a good distance away here, so I'm kind of pulling it. But you get about 10 feet of cord. I could easily see sticking that solar panel in a window somewhere. Again, it's not going to be super efficient, but it is going to keep your batteries topped off. You can see just from that quick little charge that we had plugged in before, it's already full. But we're going to plug this in to show you the charge light come on. There's the charge light. So it is charging. And it will charge from that panel. It will take a while. I believe it's 17 hours from a completely dead battery. Again, if you keep that panel in the sun all the time, if you've got a little patio or somewhere to put it, It's a very convenient system. It's a very simple, easy to operate system. There's no real thinking about it. Now, this does have lights on it, and we're going to demo those as well as the light bulbs. But I got to darken everything up in here, so let me get that set up and I'll show you how that works. All right, so let's go through the features of the lighting and the charging on this real quick. I want to show you that it does charge. I have my tablet out here because I keep it around. It's very handy during videos. And I'm going to plug that in there. And there we go. It's charging. So it will charge your cell phones and your tablets. This here is a USB input. You have two USB outputs here that will charge. This is an input for your music, and I don't have any music on this, otherwise I'd play it for you. And I don't have a trans flash card handy because they're in every camera that I have. But you get the idea. It does what it's supposed to do. I have tested it. I took one out of here. I put a music song on it, put it on here. Again, I don't want to play it because it can get copyright issues with that. But it does work. So if you have a book on tape that you're listening to and you can get it into an MP3 or MP4 format, MP3 format I should say, you can stick it in here and you can listen to it while the power's out. No big deal. All right, so let's move that out of the way. Let me give you the run times really quick because you see there's 3 lights here. All right, with 1 light on, it will run for 18 hours on a full charge. With 2 lights plugged in, it's 9 hours. With 3 lights plugged in, it's 6 hours. And these are each 2-watt light bulbs. So it'll last a good long time with 1 light. And you'll see how bright these are. I'm going to hang them up for you to see. I'm also going to show you the lighting here. You have a flashlight in front here. This one isn't anything to write home about. Not even worth really demoing in the dark. I mean, it works. It's just not super bright. This one here is very bright. So that's handy for doing tasks, reading right at hand right here, maybe something like that. Very handy for that. We're going to plug the lights in here. I'll show you how they operate. Now, the lights do have individual switches too. That's kind of neat. So you just plug them in. That's it. That's simple. To turn them on, and we'll show you this a little better here, there's a switch right here that will turn the light on. So let me get everything darkened out and get these 3 plugged in. I'm going to hang them down at a level like, where you can see them. And I'll show you how much it lights up this area. I could actually easily work by it. All right, so I have these hung up over my top lighting above here. I just have them kind of draped down where you can actually see them at the level. I'm going to turn off the light and I'm going to show you how bright these are. We'll kind of get an idea of how much light you'd get in a workspace with these. I'm thinking about this kind of stuff because we're looking at a situation like in California where you could lose power in an afternoon for 4 days, 6 days, whatever, or even 6 hours. If you need lighting, you have it with this, and it's really a no-thought operation. You just plug it in. When it's ready to go, you unplug it, or you put the solar panel in the window, unplug that when you're ready, and plug in your lights. So let's turn off the light, and let's start turning these light bulbs on. That's 1. That's 2, and that's 3. So even on this camera that doesn't like low light, that's a pretty darn bright setup there. And you can pretty much see whatever you need to do. I mean, that's easy enough to work with. You can see the whole counter. Definitely a cool system. If you need lighting and you need it inexpensively and you need a way to charge it off grid, with a little solar panel, definitely a cool system to go. So let me put the lights back on, and I will organize my mess here and tell you where you can get it and what I think of it. All right, so you see how it operates. It's definitely very bright. It's definitely a handy lighting system. When you can eliminate all other lighting systems in your house, not have to deal with candles, not have to deal with worrying about your kids or your pets tipping over something flammable. You don't have to mess with pumping up, lanterns or worrying about fuel storage. Something like this is super simple to use. Not expensive. Yeah, it is not, I'm telling you right now, this is not something I would take out into the wild and bang around. Would I take it out to a campsite, car camping? Certainly. No problem with it whatsoever. But I mean, it's plastic, it's lightweight. This stuff isn't built for, it's not built to mil-spec, beat the heck out of it in your backpack type specifications. But it will work for using it in a home system when you could lose power quickly. And it takes nothing to keep charged up and set up. Literally, you could hang that in a window. You could stick that out on a patio. You could stick that, in a front-facing window in the mornings where you get all the sun. I did that for about 6 years. I had a 10-watt solar panel, 1 deep cycle battery, a little 2-amp charge control, and a 400-watt inverter. And that's how I had backup power in my apartment when I lived in California. I just stuck that panel right up in the window, kind of tilted it back a little bit. We had those Oriental paper sliding screens, so you could kind of tilt it back. There was a little bit of room, and you could sit it at an angle in the window. And that kept it topped off, you know. So, hey, it's a cool little system. It's inexpensive compared to most of the solar generators and stuff I've seen on other sites. Now, don't get me wrong. If you can afford a better system, by all means, get it. If you're just getting started, you just want to dabble a little bit in solar, but you don't have the electrical background maybe. You just want to get a little setup like this that can kind of keep you in light and maybe even a little informed if you have a local FM information type radio station. Most of the FM here is all music. There are a few, there's NPR, a couple of talk stations, but, and I wouldn't even pick up that, and my other radio picked up NPR crystal clear. So, again, the FM radio is a compromise, but it is definitely a way to keep, kids entertained, play some music, whatever, So it definitely works. It does what it's supposed to do. I will be playing with it a little bit more and seeing how I like it. I'm going to set it up out here as a backup power system if we lose power. Just to come out and test it, I keep waiting for a power outage to shoot like 3 different videos to show you, okay, this is how it works when the power's out. But you saw how bright it was. It was definitely bright enough. So it's a 9-volt, 3-watt panel. It's not, a huge panel. I'm sure you could probably add on to it or improve it in some way. Maybe even put a bigger panel. It's just a matter of cutting that cord, finding out what's negative and positive, and connecting the wires to a bigger panel. But I mean, for the system you're getting here, it works. It does its job. It's a decent little panel. Does what it's supposed to do. So that's my opinion on it. I will put a link down below where you can pick one up off Amazon. It is the least expensive solar generator that I found. I've seen other ones that can go up into $300-$400 range. Honestly, if you watch enough videos on YouTube, and I even have the little solar box that I built for my ham radio stuff. If you watch enough videos, you can put one of those things together so simply and a whole lot cheaper than, say, a big, huge $400 or $500 box. And it can have the same power, the same kind of battery. You can do it pretty inexpensively. The newer lithium polymer batteries are a little more expensive, but you can still do it inexpensively and build a quality unit. But if you don't have any of that background and you're like, look, I just want a system that's ready to go when the lights go out, I can literally walk in, click one of these, turn it on, and I got light. This is the system for you. And it's $58. I mean, really, if you have a garage that doesn't have lighting, another great use for it. So I would take it camping, then maybe car camping. I wouldn't want to stick all that in my backpack and carry it. But if I'm taking my vehicle out somewhere, or maybe an ATV out somewhere for the night, and I want to hang these up in nearby trees, sure, that's more than enough lighting. And this is handy too with this light here. The front light, like I said, is kind of not that great. Side light's good. That's a bright light. It's Cobb LEDs. So that's the system. That is the Goland Century solar lighting system. They call it a solar generator. I guess it's a generator if you want to charge up your cell phones or anything else USB powered. And they run about $58. I'll put a link down below where you can pick one up. It'll also be in my store if you're interested in picking one up. Actually, the link is the direct link to my store. And don't forget to check out the Amazon store as well. Our store there has all the stuff that I review on the channel, most of it. Some stuff I can't find, I don't put in there. And I will let you know if it's cheaper somewhere else. Sometimes I find stuff cheaper on Walmart. I'll let you know. But for the most part, what I find, I try to put in there. And if you don't see anything you like, just click the link, shop as you normally would. Really helps out the channel a whole lot. And I definitely have an interesting video coming up probably by the end of this month. And a big shout out to those who have been using it, because you're going to really allow us to upgrade this channel to a new level. So I'm really appreciative of you that use that link. And don't forget to check out our Thrive Life link down below if you're interested in getting started in some freeze-dried food storage. And our Olight link if you're interested in some really high-quality flashlights. Anyway, folks, I thank you for watching. Stay safe and stay prepared.